Alright, so yeah, I guess I'll just do one more run and then I'm probably gonna be done for the day. I imagine you could get a pretty good time in this game. Probably 1 hour even, maybe, if you did all the puzzles really super quick. But I think you just need to walk around. And your friend here, Emmy, will eventually just leave. Waiting for Emmy is a bit annoying because you just have to wait. But she will eventually leave on her own. Okay, here we go. Once she leaves, start the game. You have to pick up the log lock manual. If you don't pick this up, you can't do the puzzles. Which makes sense, but, you know. Yeah, so hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to start doing runs of Sigma Star Saga. And so, wow, can I actually interact with it? Nice time loss. Alright, so yeah, Sigma Star Saga. Hopefully I'll be able to do runs starting tomorrow. I finally got my manual or my guidebook in. So I might be able to do like the routing more effectively. I don't know. I think it's kind of more of a practice game, but I have some things I have to test with that game. There's a couple things I have to test. I know I have the weapon route. Like the weapon route, the weapons are all rooted, so I know exactly what weapons I have to use. Yeah, the randomized ship mechanic. Dude, that sucks so much sometimes. When you get the like really huge ships in like super narrow corridors or whatever, or like really slow ships. Like it's kind of garbage. But it's not so bad. Because usually it gives you a decent ship. It's just rarely, man, sometimes you can get so screwed. But aside from the random ship, I think the game is quite good. It's a bit different. It's not quite the same kind of shooting as like, I don't know, Gradius or whatever. It's a bit different, you know? So, I think it's quite good for what it is. It has a nice, kind of semi-engaging storyline, and the art is nice. All the sprites are really nice sprite work. This is done by WayForward, who's known for their sprite work. So yeah, I think it's a really cool game. So I just got a bit of work to do on... I have a bit of work to do on the routing, and then I'll be able to do runs of that pretty soon. I am glad though that I was able to get all the weapon routing out of the way. I wasn't sure, oops. I wasn't sure entirely if I'd be able to do it easily, but turns out weapon routing was not bad at all. There's something to be said for choosing triple shot or heavy shot. Like it's a bit iffy whether or not it's better to go with heavy shot or triple shot. Heavy shot is supposed to have a really huge hitbox, but I can't really tell. I'm not entirely sure if heavy shot actually has a big hitbox, or if it just says it has a big hitbox and then triple shot actually has a larger one. So I don't know. Because that's your main weapon for like a huge portion of the game, is either triple shot or heavy shot. Because if you get one, I don't think you really need to get the other one. But for the most part, that's all you have to worry about. And then once I get the plus damage, shot ability, I mean, you just skip to that. Oh, you mean collision in this game? Or collision in Sigma Star? Because you could probably skip some stuff in Sigma Star. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's some skips to be had somewhere, especially with stuff like the krill boots, where you have that like falling dash or something. Like maybe you could do something, but I'm just not sure about this. Like there's got to be something, but I'm not entirely sure where you'd find it. In this game, collision is a bit weird. I think it actually works quite well, but if you run up against a surface that you're not supposed to, Addie vibrates at an extremely high frequency, so I don't know. Oh, also, you know, the girl wings in Sigma Star Saga. The girl wings, I'm actually thinking of using it in my route, is the girl wings, but there's something, like, surely there's probably something with the girl wings, but in addition to there probably being something that you can do with the girl wings to glitch out, like maybe get out of bounds or something. They're also great because I'm pretty sure you can skip encounters. Like, well, okay, I know you can skip encounters. Because as long as you're in the air, you can't get an encounter. So for the speed run, that's much faster. Obviously, not having to do encounters makes it much easier to get through the game quickly. The only thing is you end up super under-leveled at the end of the game, but that's what the plus damage shot is for. It's also a bit annoying to do, like, constantly be using the girl wings to fly, as opposed to just running around on the ground. Especially since the krill boots feel really fast. Like, they feel incredibly fast. The only thing is they're not actually that fast, because if you get an encounter while you have the krill boots on, the encounter is going to last like several minutes. You'll feel like you're moving faster, but every time you get an encounter, you're actually slowing yourself down by a lot. like literally can lose minutes to encounters. So I think that it's probably more worth it once you get the girl wings to just skip all encounters by flying everywhere. And then you use the krill boots whenever you can't get encounters to go real speedy, quick, fast. But it's hard to say if it's really faster. So I'm gonna at least do some test runs to see if using the krill boots would be faster. But somehow I doubt using the krill boots is gonna be faster if you get encounters. So where am I going? Talk to Joka in the plaza. Okay. Right, and then we're going to the laundry room. Okay. I really feel like Sigma Star Saga is an underappreciated game. Like, it's such an excellent game. I mean, I understand that it's a bit weird. It's like a genre mix match that doesn't really make any sense. But man, I think it's still a super fun game. And the fact that it cared enough to have a storyline with characters that you can actually, like, you kind of like these characters. That makes a huge difference for me. Like, that matters a lot. Because I can play a game with no story and all gameplay, but I still really like it when they bother to frame what you're doing. And especially if it has likable characters. Yeah, I can see how the combat can sometimes piss people off. Because, again, with those huge ships, some of those huge ships are just like, they're just awful to pilot. Like, they're just the worst. But even still, I think it's interesting that they gave you a variety of ships. Like, they didn't just give you one ship. I think that it's better that they gave you a kind of a variety. It's just if they didn't cripple you so hard with some of them. But I think it was a solid idea at the very least. They were thinking of doing a sequel on the Nintendo DS, but unfortunately, that never materialized. Kind of tragic because I think it's a bit late now to make a sequel. I mean, technically it's never too late to make a sequel, but it's kind of too late to make a sequel. But I still think it would be really cool. I don't really know where you'd go with a sequel since the game's story kind of completes itself. Like, it's a fully finished story by the time you get to the end of it. So, like, it's fine that if it's just a single game, but I'd like another game with that kind of gameplay. If they could fix a few of the problems it had, I think it would be you could have a real potential for like a really good, solid game. Not that Sigma Star Saga isn't already solid, but it's just like, you know, you could have an even better game. And, you know, I'm not going to argue with an even better game. What the heck? I do wonder, though, how long Sigma Star Saga is going to be as a speed game. I think it actually lends itself decently to being a speed game, even though the combat sections are auto-scrollers. I think it actually does somehow manage to lend itself pretty decently to being a speed game. The only thing is that despite it, you know, lending itself to decently to being a speed game, I don't know how long it is. So if it's like, I mean, like, okay, so casually playing through the game again, already knowing most of where to go, I beat it in like 7 hours, about 6-7 hours. That was casually. So speedrunning, knowing exactly where to go, could theoretically take a lot less time, but how much less is something I'm curious about, because it'll be interesting to see how much time I can save doing speedrun strats. But it might be kind of awkward if I end up, like, if I speedrun it and then it ends up being like, I don't know, 4 hours long, like Golden Sun. If it does end up being 4 hours long, that's a little unfortunate, because that means that I won't be able to do more than one run per night for the most part if I'm streaming, which is kind of, I don't know. I like being able to do more than one run in a day. The only thing is like, you know, there's different extremes, obviously, but I do like being able to do more than one run a night. So if it was somewhere in the neighborhood of between 2 hours, yeah, between 1 to 2 hours, I think would be perfect. But too much longer than that and it would become awkward. I think 3 hours is the absolute limit for me being able to do 2 runs in a night. And then once I would get past that point, it would be kind of rough to keep doing more. But I definitely plan on doing like a whole bunch I get in the dam? Oh, right. Oh, wait, no. Oh, you can just leave? I didn't know that. Okay, well that improves the route a little bit. Anyway. Yeah, so I definitely plan on doing a whole lot of Sigma Star Saga stuff because the game lends itself. I do not mean to do that. Mirror, grab, down, grab. Yeah, the game lends itself to having several different routes. Like you have any percent. There are 3 categories that this game can have, or like the Sigma Star Saga can have. I think you could do any percent, 100%, which collects all the gun data, and then new game plus best ending, because you can't get the best ending on a new game file, because it's like you can get the bad ending, you can get the good ending, and then you can get the good plus ending, pretty much. On your, and you can't get the good plus ending on the first playthrough. But if you do New Game Plus, which you need to do to get the good plus ending, you keep all of your gun data. So you would start the game out with the most powerful weapons already, so. And obviously you would probably do New Game Plus from 100% file, so it would change up how things are routed. But yeah, I plan on routing all 3 categories. I think it'd be cool to have all 3 categories in there, and maybe more people will run the game or something. Okay, so I'm supposed to, I guess I have to talk to the boss here, and he tells me to go inside, and I go inside. Okay. Oh. But yeah, I think it's a cool game. Sigma Star Saga is a really cool game, and it'll be really cool to do some speedruns of it. Plus, one thing is, there's this other game that I want to learn, but that's going to take some work, and so it'll give me some time to learn the new game if I'm doing speedruns of Sigma Star Saga. While I'm doing those speedruns, I can probably learn the new game there, so that'll be good. Oops. Ah. There we go. Unoptimal run. Well, I guess it's time save if I decide to come back to this game in the future as a speed game. Probably not going to anytime soon, but possibility is always there, so possible time save later. I do want to put together like and I don't know if I could get any help from Zelnus for organization, but he's the only guy I know. that I could ask probably. But I do want to do that JP only marathon. I think that would be really cool. Do a JP only marathon where it's just like just a marathon of JP only games, so you give them some more exposure. I think that'd be cool. Like I could do this game, I could do Suzuki Bakuhatsu, which is also a really cool game. If I ever get off my ass, finish it, I could maybe route Ushi Seiryuden, which is RPG made by the same company as Pokemon. Like it's made by the same company who made Pokemon, but also it's kind of like I don't know, it's different. It's way different for Pokemon. It has the same art style, which looks really nice. And then there's just one more game. Oh yeah, if I ever finish the notes for Mystic Arc, that is technically a game that never left Japan. It has a fan translation, and I think it's a really good game. It has some really cool ideas. But it did technically never leave Japan officially, so that could also be in that marathon. So there's a whole bunch of games. Like there's a lot of games that just never left of Japan, and it'd be cool to advertise those games, sort of. Wow, not exactly advertise, but you know, showcase them for people who might not know about them. I think that would be really cool. I might ask Delness if he knows how to maybe organize something like that. That is, of course, if he even has the free time to give me advice on that. Because I mean, I don't know how busy he is. He could be really busy, so. Or maybe he doesn't have time to help me, but it would be cool. Oh yeah, and I wonder if I'll actually get into GDQ. That's right. I forgot, actually, but I did submit to that. I sent in my email recently, actually, but they like emailed me and said something you have to fill out this form and then you get your submission, and so they've done like continuous revisions to the games list, but I think they will finally be telling me if I got in or if I'm out on the 18th. I'm interested to know. They changed it to an online only marathon, so no worries about going to GDQ and getting GD COVID-19 flu, if you will. But even if it's not like a actual in-person event, which would be cooler, but and obviously in-person events get way more they get way more attention, you know. So, you know, I won't be bringing anyone to my channel really by being on GDQ online, but it's still cool to know I at least got accepted by the games committee once. Not the eternal scrub lord who cannot ever get accepted by the games committee, as some unfortunate souls are, currently including myself for right now, but yeah, it'd be cool. Well, I guess I'll find out eventually. I don't know. I haven't submitted to that many marathons. I should submit to more, because I do like running in marathons. I just like showcasing games. It's basically like I get to have a really large scale version of like telling my friend that this game is really cool and you should check it out. I get to do a large scale version of that, which I appreciate, because I think games that are like really good and have a lot of love put into them by the developers deserve to be played. So I like to show them off at like a marathon, because I hope then that people pick it up, even though like speed running is not exactly the same as just playing it casually. I think it's good to show off these games that maybe don't get as much of a chance to get known. Like they maybe didn't have a huge marketing budget or whatever. For example, how many people know about Addie's game? Nobody. Nobody knows about Addie's game. Not in North America anyway, because it's JP only. But it was apparently popular enough or successful enough in Japan to get a PSN release. Where am I going? The bar. So it's on JP PSN. So this game was, you know, popular enough in Japan to get a PSN release, but I think this game is really cool and has a nice original puzzle system. So please talk to Eliza. All right. So like it deserves more attention. I would love another game that uses this same kind of puzzle system. I think that'd be really cool, because the puzzles certainly made my brain hurt a little bit sometimes figuring a few of them out. I didn't actually, solutions I'm using in this run, I got some of them, not all of them, but I did get some of them from like a Japanese strategy wiki. Because some of these puzzles are so mind-bending that like I needed to look at the solution on a strategy wiki. And when I say I had to look at the solution, I mean like the ideal solution, because I was able to clear this game casually by myself with no guide. It's just when it comes to the ideal solution, I didn't know what exactly was the ideal solution, so it was good I managed to find the strategy wiki with the information. So thanks to what was it? I think it's BB, Shika, and Suka, some Japanese guys that put the information on the wiki, because I wouldn't have found some of the ideal solutions here, because it's pretty hard. Did I rotate? No. Place, rotate. So yes, BB-san to Ika-san to Suka-san to wa arigatou gozaimasu. I don't think my Japanese was correct there, but thank you very much to those guys for giving the correct solutions.
Do you want me to put your chicken in now?
Sure. Okay, I've got food coming. Good enough. Although it is a bit late. But this always happens. I try and eat earlier. And then slowly but surely I eat later and later until I'm eating at like 8 o'clock again. Oh, I'm losing time here. I must have messed something up. Alright, let's chase after Joka. That's one huge bat, man. One, two, three. There we go. Getting through these puzzles is quite tough because it can't keep up with your menuing. So you have to go a little bit slower. But if you go too slow, then you're actually wasting time. So hard to know what the right speed is to go on these puzzles. And God forbid you mess up one of the moves, because then you're really screwed. I mean, you can undo, but I mean, it wastes a bunch of time. And no matter how it might look, this is a speed run. Trust me. Please. I'm telling you. Definitely a speed run. Okay. Vector 1, 2, 3, 4, grab. Yeah, I wrote down all the instructions. I had to parse this from the Japanese wiki, but I wrote it down all in exactly what you have to do on your controller. So it makes it easier to understand. So hopefully, I do hope that someone one day decides to also play this game. Or even speedrun this game. And if they do, I have the notes if they want them. Oops. Oops. Ah, no. Walk there, then go up to... I go to the library. You know, this game's not actually that bad. You know, my first time through, okay, obviously I like the game, but this game is not actually that bad as a speed game. Surprisingly. Mostly because the puzzles actually have some work you gotta put into them to get the movement on the puzzle screen correct. And if you screw up any of the puzzles, you lose a boatload of time. Not that you would do that if you memorized it enough, but I just mean, like, it could be a lot worse, basically, is what I'm saying. at the very least, completing a couple runs of this game good, because it allows me to submit it to marathons. But if I actually do want to show this game off somewhere, I can submit it to a marathon because I actually have completed runs of it done. There's proof that it can be done. So there is that, I suppose. I think you could push this game pretty low if you got a handle on how long you have to wait for controls on the puzzle screen. Oh, also, if I actually had a 90K JPPS2 as opposed to, I think the one I'm using right now is a 30K. Whatever the PS2 fat model is. So load times could be improved. Although load times in this game are actually not that bad, but even still, even if load times are not that bad, you know, they could always be better. Also, if you actually learned the correct lines, probably speed up movement in this game a lot. Where am I going? The White House across from Den's house. Fastest way should be through here. I should have actually had my notes scrolled to the right place instead of relying on my memory. At least I managed to remember. Okay, so now I get the Velvet, the Pier. I don't know why her name is Pier. Spelled exactly the same as the dock that you have boats moored to, but I didn't know that that was a name. Like Piers, Golden Sun, Pier. I don't know that that's a name, but like maybe it's French. Sounds a little bit French, but I'm not sure. One way or the other. That's what she's called, the lady who does the tailoring. Apparently the name Moze actually is a real name. I don't think Joka is a real name, but Emmy and Eliza are real names. I don't know, sometimes It just names characters pretty ridiculous things. Or like pretty out there names, but most of the names in this game are pretty good. About that. Of course, if you don't have a ridiculous name, I guess it's not that exciting sometimes. But sometimes I like to have, I just like kind of boring regular names. When everyone is, you know, Prince Fanzarini the 18th, the Great and Terrible, maybe a bit much sometimes. Where am I going? Right, I'm going to see Master at the bar again. Then I go to Gino in front of the laundry room. I head back to Pier, pick up the clothes. Right. Very important, I remember where I am going. That's the way you lose the most time in any game, I think, is if you just don't remember where you're going. Amazing that they only make, I think it's only like 20. There's only like 20 or 30 puzzles in this game that are actually mandatory, but there's like 80 puzzles in the game. So even though they put a whole lot of work into it, you skip most of the optional puzzles. Well, I mean, you skip all of the optional puzzles, obviously, but it's interesting they didn't choose to make more of them mandatory. In a way, it's good for getting people to play the game casually, because you don't get to see all that the game has to offer in the any percent route. I haven't rooted Hundo for this game, which would be a chore and a half. But also would be kind of interesting, but to see anyway. But I haven't done Hondo. Good. Back in. Collect the clothes. Right. Oh. Oh, I forgot to split. That's supposed to be when Eliza... when I exit the house, the White House. After collecting the clothes. That's when I was supposed to split. Okay. This is 8 swaps in a row. Are making instruments for Eliza's birthday, as far as I know. I can't be 100% sure because my grasp of Japanese is sadly not as firm as I would like it to be, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it. And from what I could tell, this is Eliza's birthday, and she wants there to be instruments there for it. Wow. Huh. So I won't have streamed for very long today. I guess I speedran my stream today. But I really didn't want to do too many runs of this game. I don't feel it... it actually is surprisingly not that bad as a speed game. It's pretty decent. However, I don't really feel like doing too many runs of it. I just wanted to get a couple runs done to make sure the route worked correctly. And then I will hopefully move on to the game that I will be focusing on for quite some time. Well, quite some time. I don't know how long, but some amount of time. Want to move on to Sigma Star Saga. I don't know. I like routing games, even if it's like fairly linear games. Sometimes it's just fun to do a route for them. Most games are already routed now, so there's not a lot of places you can always get your routing fix. If you want to do that, you know, if you want to do more, if you want to route a game, like there's not a lot of games necessarily in a lot of genres that you can still do routing for. I recently discovered there's a lot of unrouted games on the Nintendo DS. I have some games coming for that, but even that's not like a lot of the games that are good anyway are already routed. So I just don't. I don't know. I don't often care too much for new games, so like I'll be honest, I don't play a lot of new video games. I do play some, depends on the release, but I just find a lot of games these days are not that great. Or they're not to my tastes anyway. Oops. Rotate, swap, and left, place, mirror. Even still, I like routing, so there's some games for the Nintendo DS that I'll do some routing for. Plus, there's some, there's some games that already have routes that I want to learn. I don't know. There's so much in speedrunning I have yet to do. One day I'll probably hit my limit where I'll already have finished routing all the games I want to route. I'll have finished playing, like learning all the games that I wanted to learn. But, that day is not here yet. Pretty far away. Anyway, that's often why I end up running some really obscure titles, because I like to do the routing for them. But I don't know. Oh, maybe I should pick up some kind of popular game too. But probably not. I'll probably never do that. Most of the games that I like are kind of niche titles. That's just how things end up being. What can I do? Can't change what I like. Well, actually that's not true. But I don't really want to change what I like. interesting. Well, that's a big time loss. 3 left, up, swap, right, 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 swap, up, up, left, left, place A, right, grab U, 1, 2, 3, swap, 1, 2, 3, 4, up, 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 right, swap, 1, 2, 3, swap, place. There we go. That's definitely some bad time loss. I must have messed up something, or like I must have misread one of my instructions. I made my notes fairly easy to read, but they might be a little hard on the some of the amounts of the lefts and rights. I gotta move it left and right like 4 or 5 times. Oh. Swap GM, there we go. Nope, that can't be right. Swap GM. 2? What am I holding? S? Oh god. No, swap MS. Swap SG. There we go. Back on track. Mirror column. Place G up. There we go. Lost myself for a second there. This is really gonna be a bad split. Alright, we'll finish up here. Oof. Yeah, lost like 30 seconds. dismal. Now I have to go to the library, finish this up. Go to the library to figure out what you're supposed to do, and then you go to the beginning of the game. First of all, the first screen of the game that's in the dream world. You've got to wake up. Go to the library. At least I don't think you can go through the underground passage entrance to the library. I'm pretty sure those are exit only. You have to go through the front of the library to get in, which is a bit annoying, but I do discover later that you can in fact go through the back of the library. That would save a bit of time. I accidentally entered this room. That's not good. That's Time Lost City. Well, there's my chance to check. I'm just gonna do it right now. Nope. Oh. You cannot enter. So that wasted some time, but it was worth just making absolute sure. So you can't enter the library from the back. You do in fact have to go in the front. There's no way to avoid that. Anyway, just more possible time, more time saved for next time I decide to run this game, if I decide to run this game again. Just there it is. Why not? All right. Last puzzle. All right. And wait for it to get... And there we go. Ugh. Yeah, so you could do this in not even 1.5 hours. It's like 1:15 probably could be pretty easily within my grasp if I wanted to keep going. It's more time to save. Yeah, it's not bad. Wow. Absolute Maddie, if you see what I'm saying. Yeah, if you look up Addie software on the internet, you get some Indian company. So I'm pretty sure that this game company, like I don't think you can find any information on this game company. Which is unfortunate because I think they made a pretty good game here. Also, I really like their logo. Because they're, right, the name of the company is Addie Software. And their logo is just plus D. Because, do you get it? Add D? Get it? Addie Software? I don't know. I think it's a nice logo. Also like the kind of watercolor art style, but you know, there's just a lot about this game to like. I think it's a really well produced game, very well put together, perfectly done for what it is. So, you know, can't sing its praises enough. All right, so one more time though,